So let's move it along now, and let's talk a little Anthony Belton here. All right, Anthony Belton. Very interesting that we keep hearing he was at camp, he wasn't at camp, he's just not participating, but he was in the building. Keep getting mixed information on that, but just want to read this real quick. I done a quick search over the intrawebs and trying to figure out, okay, what's going on with Anthony Belton, right? And obviously training camp hasn't kicked off yet. This is what I said. There's no direct evidence in the provided information stating that Green Bay Packers rookie Anthony Belton is missing camps. However, there are relevant details about his status that might explain the context of your question. Now, I know we already talked about this. It has to do with the rookie wage scale, the guaranteed money that these second rounders are trying to get. But let's see if this shakes out the same way here. Belton, a second round pick number 54 overall in the 2025 NFL draft, remains unsigned as of, and this was June 19th, 2025. Obviously, we're here on the 22nd now, and he's still unsigned, which is a notable point since the Packers training camp is set to begin on July 23rd, 2025. The lack of a signed contract could potentially lead to a holdout, as suggested by an agent's comment that deals for unsigned second-round picks, including Belton, might culminate just before camp starts due to pressure to finalize the contracts. Despite being unsigned, Belton was a full participant in off-season practices. I repeat, it says he was a full participant in off-season practices. Now, we know going into mandatory minicamp, I know that they signed that waiver saying, hey, they're protected if something were to happen at rookie minicamp. We know he was there, and if I remember correctly, he was playing with the number twos on the offense. It says, here we go. This is where it kind of gets into the details a little bit, all right? He was a full participant in off-season practices, indicating he's been involved in a team activities up to this point. The delay in signing is linked to a broader trend among second-round picks influenced by New Orleans Saints quarterback Tyler Shough, the 40th overall pick, reportedly demanding a fully guaranteed 4-year deal, which could set a new benchmark for guarantees and contracts for players like Belton. This contractual standoff is affecting most second-rounders, with only the first two picks of the round signed as of June 19, 2025. Now, keep in mind, we talked about Jaden Higgins kind of setting that bar because he got a fully guaranteed contract being a second-round pick. So kudos to whichever team that was. I can't remember if it was Houston or Arizona. I think it was Houston that got him, if I remember correctly. So that's really what's triggering all this. Additionally, Belton's role with the Packers is still being defined. He's expected to develop versatility primarily at right tackle and guard after playing mostly left tackle at North Carolina State. During minicamp, he worked at both left and right tackle with the backup, suggesting he's being groomed for a flexible role. There's no mention of him missing any mandatory activities like minicamp, which concluded on June 12th. 2025. It says, if your question stems from a specific report or rumor about Belton not attending camp, it's possible that new developments have emerged since the last update on June 22nd. And we're all good there. So I want to get your all take. Do you guys got any more information on Anthony Belton in the chat? Has anybody heard anything? Because, what it kind of feels like here is what it kind of feels like to me with Anthony Belton is they're going to drag this out all the way up to camp, but I don't think they're going to allow him to miss training camp. And what they're hoping is probably some other second rounders land more guaranteed money. And I don't even know how many aren't fully signed so far. But if that was the case, maybe they take it right up to training camp. And let's say they're looking for a 100% fully guaranteed contract, right, with a rookie deal, they being Anthony Belton's camp. If they go in with that approach and then it comes up on the eve of camp and a couple other players, let's say 3 more second round picks got fully guaranteed contracts, and they go, okay, we were sitting at 50%, right? Well, let's see if we can meet halfway at 75%. Maybe they get that deal done right before camp. That could be a negotiating tactic there as well. So just want to see how that all shakes out with Anthony Belton. And Solder says right tackle. AI thinks Tom might be moving. No, what it's saying is they were playing him with the backups, with the twos, right? In rookie mini camp, and I want to say there was another camp that they had where most of the players were there. He was running with the twos at left tackle and right tackle. What that says to me, and here's the thing too, on Wildy and Tausch and hearing Brian Bulaga and those guys, they were talking as if he was going to be playing guard, right? Which is really strange because just like Jordan Morgan, he played left tackle his entire collegiate career. To the best of my knowledge, he played every snap in college at left tackle at NC State. I'm almost positive. But then immediately they start hearing rumors that, hey, he may kick over to right guard, right? Well, when you hear that, you go, what's that mean? All of a sudden, now you hear that Jordan Morgan is competing at left tackle with Rasheed Walker. So if Rasheed Walker beats out Jordan Morgan for left tackle, then obviously Jordan Morgan's going to go right back to right guard. He's going to start at right guard. I would imagine that would be the case. What it feels like to me is this isn't Anthony Belton taking right tackle from Tom and then kicking Tom around or whatever. No. I think they're looking to cross-train him so he can be what we call a swing tackle. Because you get a second-round pick. If he's going to be on the bench, if everybody stays healthy, and I think we would all agree, we hope they do, if that's the case and he stays on the bench, then the best value you could get out of that second-round pick is obviously him being a swing tackle. And I know there's some people that probably think, oh, that ain't no big deal. That ain't no big deal. Hey, when you have a tackle go down and you've got somebody waiting in the wings, whether it's right tackle or left tackle, that can step in there and be serviceable. They don't have to be all pro. They don't have to be Pro Bowl caliber. They don't even have to be, upper echelon starting 32 caliber at their, respective position. But what you're looking for is someone who's it's not going to completely blow up your game plan. And I know Emilio isn't here to defend himself, but last year, let me give you an example. When Elton Jenkins goes out of the game and they plug the all-world, all Mexicano, I should say, in honor of Emilio, Travis Glover in at left guard, that offensive line completely fell apart. You guys will remember that. So that's why it's important, I think, to have a swing tackle. What you want in a perfect world, in my opinion, is you want a player who can play both tackle positions as a backup. This is perfect, best case scenario, right? In a perfect world, you want your backup left tackle to be able to play right tackle too, where they can play swing tackle. So if one of your starters go down, you got a swing tackle to jump right into that spot. You know who's up. There's no, okay, if the left tackle goes down, you plug and play this guy. If the right tackle goes down, you plug and play that guy. Then you flip to the interior. You want another guy who can play either guard position as a backup. All right. And to me, that feels like Sean Ryan. If Rasheed Walker beats Jordan Morgan out for left tackle and Jordan Morgan is the starting right guard, then to me, it feels like the go-to play there, the go-to game plan would be Sean Ryan would be your swing guard. So you got Anthony Belton as a swing tackle, Sean Ryan as a swing guard, Jacob Monk is your backup center. Now, the other thing that we haven't talked about is obviously Elton Jenkins and his contract. I do not think that Elton Jenkins is going to hold out week one. I don't. And I'm hoping they meet in the middle somewhere and get that whole contract thing worked out, right? But if for some reason, worst case scenario, Elton Jenkins, if he were to, hey, I'm going to hold out until I get what I want, and Goody is just really, really, really just kind of locked in that, no, we're not going to give you any more guaranteed money. You're under contract for 2 years. If that were the case, I would like to see Zach Tom kick to center, and then it's time to put your big boy pants on, Jordan Morgan and or Anthony Belton, right? That's how I see that. You got a first-round pick and a second-round pick. If they can't start at right tackle in Tom's place, then those are whiffs at those draft picks. That's just my personal opinion. So it's not a perfect scenario, but that seems like that would be the more serviceable backup plan to Elton Jenkins missing time in week one. And again, I want to be very clear. I'm not saying he's going to miss time. I'm simply saying worst case scenario. That's how I would like to see that. Now, with that being said, they've had Jacob Monk taking the snaps at center throughout camp at mandatory minicamp. You haven't seen, I don't think we've seen Zach Tom take one snap at center in minicamp. So it could be Sean Ryan. I think Sean Ryan took a few. So Sean Ryan could be that backup center, and they're just giving Jacob Monk every opportunity to try to win that spot. So we'll see how that all shakes out there. So again, Anthony Belton, we're going to keep our eye on that. As we come up on training camp here next month, we're less than a month away from quarterbacks. I think it was quarterbacks, rookies, and injured players reporting on the 18th. And then, of course, the rest of the players report on the 22nd. We're exactly